Have you considered running for president? Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. I'm saying this just on the heels of finding out that Kanye West has said that he wants to run for president this time around. Now, this is already beyond most of the primaries, so he's not going to be able to run in any of the major political parties. This is beyond the point at which pretty much the candidates have been chosen by the major political parties. In many cases, he can't even run as an independent in many states because of the way that the rules are set up. There's a lot going against Kanye West. Now, one thing that goes for him is the fact that he is Kanye West. He does have a name and probably could run even if he were a write-in candidate. It is a possibility. But regardless of that, you got to look at everything else. And quite possibly the main reason why Donald Trump ran the first time, well, not the first time, the last time that he ran in 2016, it was, to his own admission before that a whole lot of the times that he ran up until, because it wasn't his first time running for president, he ran multiple times. Why did he do it? And it's real easy to say publicity, but what does that actually mean, right? What it means is, can you raise yourself in the public's eye? And I'm not just talking on a national level. So on a national level, would you as a business owner, as an executive of your business, would you consider running for president if you knew it would give you more status? And not knowing that you'd have no chance of winning whatsoever, but that you'd get free publicity, you'd be able to get onto a whole lot of shows, radio shows. Even if it looked like a complete joke, people would have you on their shows just because you're running for president. The same thing happened. That it was really, really clear to me when I was living in California during the time of the recall. I'm trying to remember the date off the top of my head. I'm not. It's not coming to me, but it was the recall that led to Arnold Schwarzenegger being sworn in as the governor. And during that recall, not only was the recall on the ballot to recall Gray Davis, who was the sitting governor, but at the same time, they pretty much opened it wide open. There were no primary. There was no political standard. Anybody could run under any political party or as an independent. And so you had a ton of people running all at once. And you could tell a huge amount of them knew they had absolutely no chance. It was a way for them to get their name out there. And I'm not saying you need to go run for political office. That's kind of silly and outrageous. What I'm saying is, what would you be willing to do? And what would you not be willing to do? And where is that line at where, well, maybe if the circumstances were just a certain way, I might do that. You ought to brainstorm these things with on your own, but also with your team and anybody else you work with. What would you be willing to do to get your message out there when it comes to your business? And what would you not be willing to do? Where's that line drawn? And maybe it's not you, maybe it's somebody else at the company. Maybe someone else needs to be that face of the company. But I highly recommend that you take advantage of the idea that publicity is everything. It's everywhere. It's any time a person is out in the public and getting attention that you don't have to outright pay for. That's a good thing for your company. If you get to have that message put out one more time without having to pay directly for it, that's huge. And today with the internet, it can spread so much quicker than a commercial that you're paying for, whether it's pay per click or what have you. So hopefully it's something to think. When you see something outrageous like Kanye West running for president, don't laugh too quick. There's a reason behind it. It may not be a good reason, but there's a reason behind it, and it's put Kanye West back in the news, which would have been tough for him to do just on his own, just making music. He's been able to to make himself much more well known among the public over and over and over again, sometimes with the most outrageous statements, sometimes just taking a uncontroversial point of view, a controversial point of view in terms of the way the media sees it. So don't write these things off, because quite frankly, this is why Donald Trump is our president right now, whether you like or dislike him. He learned that process, how to do that, just in New York City, and it ended up taking him national in the late 80s. He became a national figure, and from that point on, he just kept going and going and going and going. It's something anybody can do, and it doesn't mean that you have to be hated. It doesn't mean that you have to be seen as crazy. It just means that you understand that there is something beyond the advertising that you pay for. So hopefully that's helpful to you. Just kind of get the mind rolling a little bit tonight on this Sunday night. Hey, if you want to sit down and be able to talk with me and be able to brainstorm some of these ideas directly one-on-one, I suggest the Amazon Proof Strategy session. You can find that over at brianjpombo.com/Amazon. That link is in the description. Hey, go and click on it right now and go fill out an application. In the meantime, we'll be back here tomorrow. Get out there and let the magic happen.